Hi, today I want to introduce a library that can help you to build and control agents using Google's A2A protocol. It also provides a way to better understand A2A and its stateful lifecycle. The library is called A2A Checker and gives you a CLI and even a user interface to monitor your agent. And yes, I'm the creator. So right now it's still in a proof of concept phase, but in this video I'll walk you through how it works. To get and install the library, you have to clone it from my GitHub repository. You will find the link to that in the description of this video. So please click on code and then just clone it on your local machine. So what's actually inside the A2A Check library? So it is a CLI tool to validate and inspect A2A agent implementations. In the README, you will find every command that is available. And I recommend to scroll a little bit down because here are all the commands in the semantics. So net probe, what is actually behind that command. So here we check the reachability of the origin and the card URL, if the content type is parsed and if the body is parsed. So card fetch checks the agent card. We can validate every attribute of the card. And we can also have this one size fits all command, which is the suit command that does everything. But I guess the more important and more interesting part of this library is the UI. That is actually a sub-library, which is this. So the A2A ControlPlane. That gives you an overview over every task that is running in your agent. You can also get a detailed overview over every task that was running or is running, and get the state, get the last updated time, and also the task ID. You can also drill down into a specific task. You can see the message history of a task and also the provided artifacts. So I guess that might be quite interesting. So now I'm going to show you how it works. So after you cloned the repository, we install the library locally. Okay, I'm now in VS Code, and if you downloaded and cloned the repository correct, then here on the left you should see the exact same folders. So we've got this src folder, this contains all of the code, and here is the A2A check folder, which contains all of the commands that we run. So what's inside there is not so interesting because we take a view as the users, we take the user's perspective. So to install the library, you can just type uv pip install dot. If you want to edit the code, then you can also use the editable flag. Just click enter and this will spin up a virtual environment for you and install the library. Okay, so now you can use it. So to use it, you can run uv and then run A2A -check. And then first -- help. So here you can see all of the available commands. We've got start dummy, we've got UI, which starts the UI, and here are all the commands to check your agent. So if you've got an agent already, then you can just use the commands against that. If you don't have an agent, then you can spin up this dummy agent by running uv run and then A2A -check start _ dummy. You can see there are additional arguments like the port. So we want to run it on port 5000. Now the agent is running on port 5000. And we can now use the test suite to check if that agent exposes everything correctly. So first let's check out the Swagger UI. So this is how it looks like. We've got every available endpoint that the A2A protocol suggests implemented with REST, so not the default JSON-RPC. To be honest, I prefer REST because it gives you this nice Swagger UI, but functionality-wise, it does not really matter. Okay, let's now go back to Visual Studio Code to actually check if everything is implemented correctly, like for example, this agent card. So here you can see there's a lot of stuff going on, but if it's actually correct, the best way is just to run the CLI command. So we run uv run A2A check. And here again, you can just run help to see what command is correct. And we want to use the test suite. So here we got suite. We want to test everything. So all. And here we can see that we need this target URL. So our application is running on port 5000. So we can just enter that. And then we're gonna check against the dummy agent. Okay, so the complete test suite took like 30 seconds and here is the result. You can see it's in a nice tabular form. So you can see that the network, everything is available. JSON is parsed correctly. The agent schema is correct. here every card rule, like we've got a protocol version, we've got a name, a description, the URL, the version, input modes are correct, and so on and so on. And here is a little bit warning. So we've got supports authenticated extended card. This is set to true, but there is no security scheme declared. So this is a little warning from our CLI that we could make it better. And also another warning, the complete test suite includes JSON-RPC, but we exposed our agent via REST. So HTTP plus JSON, so here it is. This is what we used. So this warning is just fine. And here we can see that everything is correct in this agent. So we've got 36 OKs, we've got 2 warnings and 0 errors. So maybe after this result you might wonder, what are all these rules? What is, for example, card 001 and 001A? So where are these rules coming from? So the rules are from me. These are not A2A specific rules, but I created a nice explanation in the README file. So here you can see where you will find the actual spec mapping behind that. For example, protocol version present, and if that's not present, it will trigger an error. And here you can see in 5.5, so if you scroll down here, there you can see that the protocol version is a must in the agent card. So this is how this works. Okay, so next I want to show you the user interface. So to do that, you can just run A2A check and then UI. So this will spawn a local server. It will directly open the browser. And here you can see that is the UI, A2A ControlPlane. And currently we don't have an active agent. So you can add an agent by entering the agent card URL. So you go there, and since our server is running on port 5000, we can just copy that and paste it here. So this is where our agent card is running. We don't have any authorization, so we can skip that. It takes a few seconds, and now we can see the agent is added and activated. So you can only add one agent at a time. And now we want to analyze if everything works as expected. So you can see currently we've got 2 completed tasks. This was triggered by our CLI tool. And now let's go here and create a new task. So what we want is we send a message via this API endpoint. We can just use the default payload, and we can now see that if we refresh that, we can see one task is at working. So this will take a few seconds now. I entered an artificial delay to that to actually see the A2A control plane. Okay, so let's maybe go to that endpoint because this does not stream. So we can just fire multiple payloads. So here we send some more. And now we should see a lot of working or running tasks. Here we can see 14 running tasks. And here in this overview, if we click here, then we can see every task that is currently running. We can see when it was updated the last time, the context, and also a specific task ID. Currently in the UI, I don't use any polling, so you have to just refresh to see the updated results. Here we can now see everything is completed. I also added some randomness to actually make some tasks fail, and now we can drill down by clicking just on the task ID. And here you can see for completed, we've got the status, we've got the agent's history. You can see that is the first agent message, then the user message, and here some progress of the agent. At the end, you can also see this artifact, this report.json. And yeah, if you want to check the failed, then just click here and you can see that unfortunately from there you can just see that it's failed, but nothing really happening in the logs. So, okay, that's actually it. That is the functionality of the A2A Checker library with the CLI and the UI. So if you liked the video, then please give it a like. And if you liked the library, then I would highly recommend that you give that library a star on GitHub. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.